All right.
Oh, hey everybody, Darksoul 6875 here, and welcome back to Thoughts of a Dark Soul. Today, once again, joining me for the very first part of this podcast is Darkpaladin. Say hello.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing today?
Wow, you got like really close, didn't you?
I know I'm moving my microphone actually to my mouth this time, so that way it's a little bit better than other times.
Yeah. So today, like last week, we talked about time travel and kind of our favorite paradoxes. We brought up Doctor Who quite a bit, and I figured we would elaborate on that. Both Paladin and I are fairly big Doctor Who fans. I actually went out and saw the 50th in theaters, like a couple hours away, when it premiered.
No, I did not want to do that.
I did. It was so worth it. It was so good.
I'm not saying it wasn't worth it. I just couldn't do
Yeah,
it.
no. So today we're going to talk about our top three favorite episodes, and I limit it to three because if we do any longer lists of that, we're gonna be here for way too long.
2 hours, and that's at minimum, people.
Yeah, that's it. Minimum.
Minimum.
If we did five or more, we'd probably be here for at least an hour, hour and a half on this one segment alone. And I don't know how many people that are subscribed to my channel are actually Doctor Who fans, but I'm gonna go ahead and start since Paladin started last week, or at least that sounds good. I don't know.
I don't know. I can't remember.
So I'm gonna go in no particular order. These aren't. It's not right. Like this is my third favorite. This is just kind of. I guess my order is kind of sequential in the fact that I'll go by kind of when the episodes aired. So I think my first my first top three would be in series 1 when the show first rebooted back in '05, and it would be the episode Dalek. We first see, and for me, I started the show in '05, so I had no fucking clue what a Dalek was. I had no clue about how big these things were, like how big in universe and how scary these things are. For those of you who don't know, a Dalek is an alien creature specifically made to kill. It is built encased in its own little tank, and it's got a little plunger and a little what looks like to be a whisk that shoots lasers and one eye stalk. If you look up Dalek, they look absolutely ridiculous. But in universe, they are one of the scariest creatures in the show because they are bred to do one thing. They are bred to essentially kill or to exterminate, as is their catchphrase. So not only do we meet these villains for the first time in the series, which are classic villains, we also see what to me was a very defining moment for Christopher Eccleston's Doctor, which was Doctor number 9, if we're keeping up with which one it is. In his speech where he talks to the Dalek. Now, spoilers. This is going to be spoiler heavy. I should probably have already said that, but
Spoilers.
shut the fuck up. But we see him. This is just after what is referred to as the Time War, where all the Time Lords, which is the Doctor's race, and the Daleks have all been destroyed. They've been killed by the Doctor. We don't know this yet. All we know vaguely that there was a Time War and everybody died. Obviously, this was expanded upon in the 50th year anniversary and a little bit more as the series went on, but as series 1, this is all we know. We see this one Dalek, and we see the Doctor facing the decision that he had just made, however many years ago it was for him. And we get this really nice moment where Christopher Eccleston's Doctor just loses it. He is just like, because the Dalek is waiting for commands from his his race, and he's just like, "You're not gonna get any more orders. Don't you get it? I've killed them all." And we just see him bask in what is essentially this heinous crime that he essentially committed against not only his own people but the Daleks. And I think there was at one point, I don't remember if he stops once he starts to realize it, or if it's the Dalek that's, kind of looks at him and says, "You would make a good Dalek."
It's right after he said that he started.
Yeah, he just stops, and he realizes, this is who I've become. this is ingrained into me now, and it's a really good. It's a moment where this character, as we've seen him, who can be so destructive yet so nice, and can be. It's just such an interesting character of a combination of a character. We see him bask in what he's done in this time war, and then his enemy points out, you would be really great at fucking killing everybody. And then he realizes, oh shit, that's not who I want to be. And it really takes him back, and you really kind of get into the mindset. Well, not necessarily the mindset, but you feel for him, because you realize this is not what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to, try to save the day, try to do the best. He's reveling in the destruction of this race. And they're a race bred to kill. But still, he's reveling in it. That's something that he generally doesn't do, and it really catches him off guard once he does it. It's a really, really great moment. And it's always one of those that I can always go back and watch. Like, I watched that episode, and the acting, for the most part, is great. It was made in 2005 on a fairly lower budget, so some of the effects are kind of but the acting is still very good by most of everybody. And just throughout, the whole episode progresses very well. There aren't too many issues with pacing, and it's just a really good kind of look at the Doctor and an explanation. And we get to kind of hear a little bit more about the Time War and kind of what it was and what happened. Because as a viewer, this is something that happened off screen that we never see up until the 50th anniversary. So it gave us kind of more bits and pieces to that, and also gave us a kind of different look at the Doctor, kind of a more he isn't just this guy that saves the day. He also can be a very cruel man and a very angry man. It's a very good look into his character, I think. Excuse me. The next one I would have to say would be Human Nature and the Family of Blood. Now, this was series 3, if I recall correctly. This was the 10th Doctor, which was David Tennant. In his run, this was a 2-part episode that took place, I want to say, during or right before World War One started, if I remember correctly. Right?
Before what?
Before World War One?
Yes.
Or during? Was it during or before?
No. It was before World War One. Or yeah, it was before.
Was either during or like right?
No, before, because they were talking about a war is going to happen.
That's right. The war was coming and all that. Right.
Yeah.
So the Doctor is being hunted by this family of aliens that, and forgive me, it's been quite a while since I've seen the episode. Do they just want to take his ability to regenerate? Was that the whole plot?
Yes, they wanted Time Lord DNA. Because they can't stay in a body forever, so they wanted the ability to use that to live forever, which will use the TARDIS, I think, also. Yeah. To cause havoc. But yeah, they basically just
essentially they're a big bunch of assholes. in simplest terms, this is the only. No, I think. No, this isn't gonna be my only 2-parter. No, it's not. Now, this 2-parter is interesting in the fact that we see the Doctor, but he is not the Doctor. And it's also a very good setup for the whole Series 3 arc, which is the Return of the Master. Because in this 2-parter, we see the setup of the Fob Watch, or the Fog Watch? Fob Watch?
Yeah.
I don't know how. Is it Fog or Fob?
I think it's Fog Watch.
Fog Watch, okay. Which essentially is able to trap a Time Lord's personality within a little...
No, okay. Let me explain what that is. It's not really the Fog Watch itself. Yes, it basically traps the time, but what it uses is the chameleon circuit.
That's right.
That is that it changes a person's physiology to what they want to be, like human, whatever
race, species.
Yeah. So the
whatever.
Doctor became human, but trapped his personality and all of what he is into the watch. So he's now living as this human called John Smith.
Which is funny. He always uses the name John Smith, and
yeah, he does.
Everybody's like, so wait, is that where we got it, or did he just pick it up because it's so common? It's always a little fun thing, but I'm getting off topic. So he puts his personality through the chameleon circuit in his Fog Watch, and is his teacher at this institute, I would guess, kind of like
school. Some kind of school.
Military school?
Yeah, something like that, because they were training to be fighting.
Yeah. So this sets up. So this two-parter sets up the Fogwatch reveal for the season 3 two-part finale, which was really great because I didn't actually catch it on my first watch. I didn't know this was a setup. Not only that, we get some good acting and a lot of good, interesting plots throughout the whole episode, as Martha kind of being the help, I guess you would call it, because she was just kind of
Moffat?
Martha, the companion.
Martha. Martha. Yeah.
Yeah, Jones.
Martha. Yeah.
She's kind of the help. They don't really acknowledge her that much. It's kind of a little, because it's back World War One. She is
World War One England. Black people aren't treated that well.
No, and you kind of see that it's done very subtly. They don't really like, oh hey, she's black, we don't like her. It's kind of
Get
like,
out of my way, N-word. I was halfway expecting to be a little heavy on it, but surprisingly,
it was surprisingly subtle. They just kind of never really talked to her the same, or they handled it very well.
I mean, they treated her differently, but at the same time, it wasn't like, oh, look at all of this being done through this time.
Yeah. It was done really well.
It didn't hammer it to death.
No. Not only that, they do then set up the whole subplot for the family eventually finding the Doctor in World War One England. Is this the countryside?
Yeah, but it's not World War One yet. It hasn't happened yet. It was going to.
World War One era. How about that? Pre-World
War One.
Okay. And it sets up the whole family. The family eventually comes and finds him, and they start taking over some of the students and the faculty to locate and find the Doctor. And there's this whole kind of race against time to try to get the Doctor to kind of come to terms with who he was again, so he can stop this family now that they've come back. And if I remember correctly, the first part ends at the little meeting or party where the family reveal themselves, but
yeah, the first part ended during the party, and then they started. They
revealed themselves. Honestly, not too much happens in the first part. There isn't too it's a lot of setup to get to the big payoff that is the part 2, and the reason why I really love part 2. Which it goes Human Nature and then The Family of Blood. Those are the two titles of the 2 parts. There are some very great monologues about the character as the Doctor. You hear from one of the kids that finds the Fogwatch, opens it up and finds out who the Doctor is. Kind of. I don't think he opens it up completely. He closes it soon after.
He opens up, but what he does, he keeps hearing the Doctor's personality. He keeps hearing who that is. So you can hear him say keep it closed, keep me secret.
Yeah. And so we get a really great monologue from that character about who the Doctor is. It's he's fire and ice. It's a very well-known monologue in Doctor Who, and we also get a very interesting performance from David Tennant, who, in his human form, questions why he would want to be this person, this character, the Doctor, this person that is so cold and so calculating, kind of doesn't always come off as the nicest person. Yet again, kind of a look into the Doctor as a different, not always the hero of the day type character. He's old. I think at this point he's about 900, so he's seen some shit and some shit accessories.
903.
903.
Oh God, I'm way too into the show.
You are. You're fucking beating me at this shit. I'm usually the one beating people at this. But there's a really great monologue, and there's a really great bit right at the very end where we don't know if David Tennant in human form has taken back the persona of the Doctor and opened the Fogwatch, and so he goes to surrender to the aliens. And this is probably by far one of my favorite scenes, is when he's going through and the aliens think he's still John Smith, and he's just he's talking to them, he's distracting them by talking to them, and he's flipping all these switches, and then he just kind of turns them and is like, there's one thing you shouldn't let me do. Flip all these switches. And he just runs out. He runs out, and they all run out. Ship explodes. And then we get to the best part of the episode, which is the family. I think is it the son that's monologuing?
The what?
Is it the older son that's monologuing what happens to the family?
Yes, it is the oldest son.
About what the Doctor has done
Yeah.
to these aliens that have come and hunted for him. One he locks in unbreakable chains to where he will never be able to get out. He hides the sister in like mirrors so that if you ever see something in the corner of your eye in a mirror, it's always her, but she can never leave. He throws one of them into the heart of a star, but she can't die. All these really cruel and inhumane punishments makes you just realize that beneath this happy-go-lucky exterior of this character, that there is this dark and there is this, not, I wouldn't say violent, but there is, you don't fuck with this guy and get away with it. If we go back to the Christmas special when David Tennant's Doctor's first introduced, he cuts off an alien, he gets his hand cut off and then kills an alien because he gave that alien one chance to leave the planet, and after the alien decided to not take it, kills the alien, goes, one chance, that's all you get. And it's just like, holy shit, this guy means business. And we're constantly reminded throughout all 4 series. But I think the Human Nature Family Blood really plays on that and really shows you that while this guy can be, one of the best people in the universe, he also, you don't want to cross him. Because he can do some of the most unimaginable shit to you, but not kill you. Because he always generally tries not to kill. That's his kind of moral guideline. And it's really fucking cool. I will always love that monologue. Like, so many good monologues come from that episode. So many quotes come from that 2-parter. And to round out my top 3, I will go with Series 9's The Zygon Inversion. I wasn't too big a fan of the Zygon Invasion. It kind of felt okay. Like, yet again, kind of the same thing. Part 1 led up to a very good Part 2 payoff. I wouldn't say it's as good as Human Nature. Human Nature had a lot better Part 1 elements. Like, it did a lot better setup. There were a lot more subtleties. The Zygon Invasion was not very subtle in the message it was trying to convey. I will say that. It was very obvious what the political message they were trying to kind of come across with that, but that's not why I like it. But in the Zygon Inversion, we see... Now, keep in mind, Series 9 happened after the 50th year anniversary where the Doctor goes in, undoes his mistake of killing off his own people, and using... what was it called? The device... fuck. Drawing blanks. Essentially using a device to burn his people and the Daleks.
The moment?
The moment, thank you. The moment is upon us. Yeah, okay, yeah, now I remember. Sorry, I'm really tired. So this is post fixing his mistakes, Doctor. And so we get this really good moment where the Zygons have invaded and kind of taken over. They're shapeshifters. They have to hide you in pods and then they shapeshift into you. And so we have Kate Stewart, who is the daughter of one of the very old kind of recurring characters in the old series of Doctor Who. And we have the Zygon representative who has taken over the form of Clara, the Doctor's current companion. And they both have a box in front of them, both saying truth or consequence. That's what the whole 2-parter is built up to. Do they want the truth or do you want the consequences of not telling the truth? And it's handled very well, and we get what, in my opinion, is, as of right now, until Series 10 airs, is hands down Capaldi's greatest speech about how you never know what's going to happen when you start a war. You never know what's going to happen after you fire that first shot. I could quote it, but I can't do it any justice to how he can. How he treats the situation, how he goes about it, is a very good way, and I actually liked it. After we go through this whole speech, we've actually learned that this isn't the first time that he's done the scenario where it's the two looking at the box. He's actually had to wipe their minds multiple times so that a war does not start. A war that could possibly wipe out one race or another, because he doesn't want this. This is very stark in contrast to my other 2 episodes where we see the Doctor be kind of more darker character. In this one, we see the Doctor going at lengths, like ridiculous lengths, to make sure the same choice he made no, like these two species don't make. They don't want. He doesn't want to see, two species wipe each other out for the sake of just having a planet to live on. He wants them to coexist peacefully, and all three of these episodes for me have what I would like to call my defining moments as their characters as doctors. In Dalek, we see Christopher Eccleston's one of his very best performances, kind of solidified him for 9 for me. Actors can play the Doctor, but it takes certain episodes to kind of like, okay, no, now I finally see you as this. And I had already accepted David Tennant as kind of 10, but when I saw Family of Blood, I'm just like, okay, no, you are commanding this role now. And then when I saw Capaldi and the Zygon inversion, I'm just like, you've done it for me. Series 8 was a little shaky, but you've nailed Series 9. I don't want you to leave in Series 10, even though you are. Like, that's how, like, I want him to stay on for another series or two now, after I saw that episode, because I'm like, I want more of this well-written Doctor. I want more of this. So that's kind of why these 3 are my top favorite episodes. If you're not a Doctor Who fan, I would definitely suggest not watching these episodes, and you probably should have paused this a long time ago, but you've already spoiled a lot for yourself, so I guess there's no going back now. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and go over to DarkPaladin, and he will tell us his 3 favorites.
Okay. All right, but before I get to my top 3, I'm going to discuss something. Just in case some people are not unfamiliar with this. He's talking about Series 1 of Doctor Who that we got. It's kind of a soft reboot.
I wouldn't even call it a soft reboot. It is just a restarting of the series.
Well, yeah.
Which happened in 2005.
But the series started off in 1956. If I'm right.
I don't think so, because I remember the first, and this is fun fact for Doctor Who, the very first episode aired literally the day after JFK got assassinated. It's just a fun fact for you.
Okay, then. There we go. But it got canceled around the 90s, but they just tried to
I thought it was late 80s, early 90s.
It was like early 90s. I don't remember that. Then it got tried to reboot during the late 90s, and then had a movie. Didn't last too long. Only had that one movie, and then came out with its own this new series. So that's the reason why the budget wasn't as big as it is now in the latest series.
No.
But the stories are still great. Doesn't really matter about the budget.
We can keep, fangirling over the show later. Let's get
let's start off with one of my favorite episodes. It's The Doctor's Wife.
The Doctor's Wife. Oh, the TARDIS episode.
Yes.
Yes, that's a good episode.
In the story, the Doctor gets pulled into this other dimension. Outside of their dimension. Their dimension. Well, technically outside the universe. And it gets landed to with this thing called House. What House is this entity that has been consuming rift energy from the TARDISes and basically killing them, and also killing the Time Lords that are with them. When the Doctor introduces itself to saying that there are no more Time Lords, well, it decides to hijack the TARDIS and takes off. But what it does is rips the matrices or the soul of the TARDIS into another person, which the Doctor is now communicating talks with. How it lures the Doctor to there is also because it uses it was a Time Lord communication. Cube. Yeah, a time key. What you use to communicate a distress signal to other Time Lords.
Yeah.
Why I like this episode, it shows an interesting dynamic between the Doctor and the TARDIS, because the TARDIS has been with the Doctor for hundreds of years. Yeah. Hundreds of years, even close to, by this point, hundreds of years. And the TARDIS has been there for 50 years, as people have been watching for so long. You feel that the Doctor knows this thing, loves this thing. They even made a joke about it in the Doctor Who, like the school one where there was Rose Tyler and
yeah. And Sarah
talking about how he likes to just
kind of just strokes it
alone, and so like, you want to be alone with it, and it's just a great,
it was a great moment,
dynamic scene to go how they communicate and how they get along, and at the end it kind of tugs at you to see how the TARDIS just goes back to being a non-talking entity again.
It goes back to being itself.
Yeah.
After the soul is once again put back into itself.
Yeah. It is. Also, it shows, but also I do like the dynamic of how strong Rory and Amy are going through thinking of ways to survive.
Yeah.
Inside the house that is now playing with
like all the TARDIS controls
with them. Yeah, like playing with them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a team of cat and mouse.
But yeah, it brings out this really nice. Also, since it was actually Rory's idea to make it like the reason why you kept mom and pop alive because you like to have people to play with you that entertain you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another way for him to stay alive.
Yeah, the show does like to kill Rory.
And the good old favorite is the part of the end when you find out that one of the things that kept that is outside of House's eyes is the 10th and 9th version of how the TARDIS looked in the inside, and it was a great callback to that.
It was.
Also, still like the line, "This is the TARDIS, and this is my wife," and she's like, "Did you wish really, really hard?"
Oh God, that was such a good line.
And then she introduced herself as sexy.
Oh yeah, because that's the name the human form of the TARDIS calls herself. She calls herself sexy. It's a little joke throughout the episode.
Yeah, and I that's just been really good. That was what was that series
6?
Well, okay, let's see. There's 9th,
3
to 10.
5th,
10, 6. Yeah, it was 6.
It was 6 because 5.
Yeah.
Series 5 was Matt's introduction.
Yeah, and that's I said this was after they got married.
Yeah.
So it was and this is because they were already dealing with they already dealt with that one thing with those spatial holes. The next one, the Witches of Familiar.
Oh, the part 2 to that.
Yeah.
Where isn't he taking care of Davros?
Well, yeah, it was the Witch's Familiar, but also I guess I could do a 2-part too since you did one, and also the Witch, the
Magician's Apprentice.
Yeah,
season 9 opener.
Yeah, basically on the Magician's Apprentice, they found out the Doctor is
dying.
Yeah, it was gonna die because the guy is getting a note from Davros, but it all was building up to him going to meet up with Davros, which
on Skaro,
which was surprising to see.
Yeah.
Keyback. If no one knows who Davros is the creator of the Daleks,
which we've already talked about at length.
Yeah, which I have to admit, yes, the Daleks don't look scary, but remember they were made in 1950. I mean, they were pretty scary at the time, but also they have such an iconic look to it that changing it too much would get rid of the whole feel of what they are.
Kind of like the Power Rangers change.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that.
But it was really interesting how Davros and the Doctor were communicating, talking to each other, and seeming to
almost connect.
Because Davros isn't really making want to make peace. He's lying to the Doctor the entire time, but you can feel that the Doctor wants this to happen. You can see that he's
very almost at odds with himself.
Yeah, because I'm going to let something else that no one else knows. The Doctor also kind of created the Daleks too.
Yeah, wasn't it?
But that's way back in the time, and that's like in the 4th incarnation of the Doctor.
That was Tom Baker in Genesis, right? No, not Genesis.
I forgot what it was. But but like I said, it was so good to see that, especially since I think I would see Davros for again, but I should have known I would have.
Yeah.
But also to know that even though the Doctor gave him that chance, still had a backup plan on how to defeat him.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
But also how it ended is that also Missy, I'm not getting too much into that, was also shown at the end and then just ended right there. So I'm kind of wondering what role she's going to play now.
Yeah, because that didn't come up at all.
No, I was expecting to come up all in that season, but it didn't. So I'm looking very excited for this new season for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a plot hole for the series opener.
Yeah, so that's the reason why it's actually one of my favorites, because it's basically it left me questioning so much.
And we know
normally I would bring up something else, but since that one's the most lingering to me right now, that's the reason why it's like up there.
Yeah, because Missy's
Peter
supposed
Capaldi's
to.
Doctor. I mean,
Missy's supposed to return for Series 10.
Which to me, yeah, Peter Capaldi right now I'm loving him as a Doctor, and I'm gonna be sad he's leaving.
Yeah.
But the next one, and this is the final one, and this is the reason why it's.
Wait, is this? Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry.
The Waters of Mars.
Oh god, the Waters of Mars. That was a special, not an actual episode.
Well, yes, but it's still technically.
No, it's a movie. It's considered canon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still an episode. It's kind of.
Movie episode kind of thing. Kind of is a special of some sort.
Yeah, it was longer than a normal episode, but sometimes some Christmas special lasts longer than normal episodes.
But it wasn't a Christmas special. It was just a special. It was like
I know, but it's a special. I'm just saying that it's still considered an episode. Get off my butt about this, man. So, the Waters of Mars. It's basically the Doctor dealing with this part where he's been told he's going to die. This is the 10th incarnation. David Tennant's Doctor. This is the last few episodes he's doing, which he's separated into specials. The Waters of Mars is the special before the last two he does. It is about him going into Mars and going to seeing the first Earth space colony on Mars, which is something he knows he has to leave for, because that area is time locked. Because something is supposed to happen that is always supposed to happen. And he cannot change that. He's not supposed to. It's the
rules of the Time Lords that they're not allowed to change.
Well, not just the rules of the Time Lords, it's supposed to be the rules of time.
Is it? Well, I thought they kind of came up with the rules of the time, since they're kind of Time Lords. Discrepancies.
Yeah, but even the Dalek didn't even break that one because it knows not to.
True.
Yeah, so that's why I would say the laws of time. More like the Time Lords govern it, but they're not really the controllers of the role.
They just kind of like, hey, don't fuck with this.
Don't fuck with this. You don't fuck with it. You don't touch that. It's seeing all these crew members that are just so together and great, and then seeing them slowly turn into these parasites, because every time they got the water from the within the ice that's there on Mars, and there's a parasite within it, and if it goes through unfiltered, they turn
these monsters.
Yeah,
like drown you.
And
it's terrifying.
What happened? Because no one knew in the original timeline. No one knew why why Amray destroyed it. I nuke to destroy it. The Doctor knows that now, that this is the reason why, is because to save Earth from being spreaded through, because they were trying to leave Mars and go to Earth, where they can go to get to the water on Earth and spread. So as the Doctor's leaving, he's hearing the cries for help, and he's being reminded that he's the last of the Time Lords. All throughout this is what it's built up to since the season reboot until now. This is what they've been up to. You keep hearing him. I'm the last of the Time Lords. I'm the last of the Time Lords. There's no one left. I'm the last of the Time Lords. He goes back and lose, but also not because of that, but also because he's hearing about his own that his own demise is coming, and he goes in and tries to change this.
He just says, "Fuck it."
Yeah, and everything else is just like time is going against him, and then he wins. He changes.
Kinda.
Let me finish, butthole. He changes the timeline and saves Adelaide and two of her crew members. But at that time, he already told Adelaide why he could not save them and what was going to happen, and she was already in rest because of that. Her death meant that her grandchild would have inspired to go do other things, which would have made another race and several other things, great things that would have pushed humanity further. And she felt that it was wrong for him to do that. The Doctor then decided to call himself that he thought, since he was that he always thought he was a survivor. He's not. He's a winner. And named himself Time Lord Victorious.
Yeah, that's a really great little speech he has there. Like,
Yeah.
All this time I've all this time I've always followed the rules of time, but now I realize
A survivor.
that I'm a survivor.
I'm not. I'm a winner.
Time Lord Victorious.
I'm time Lord Victorious, and it's not. And then
chills.
And Adelaide goes inside, shoots herself. The only thing that changes now is that where she died.
Yeah.
Not longer on Mars, but on Earth. Also, that the people of Earth now know why they why Adelaide did it.
Yeah.
To tell the story. So, and at that time, he realizes he's gone too far.
Yeah, and then doesn't he turn around to see an Ood?
He sees the Ood, yeah, and he says, "Is it time? Is it my death?" And the Ood vanishes, and here's the clown bell ringing the bell. Bell. Hey, the universe is close to fuck o'clock, which means it's going to be death time soon. Yeah. And he just says no, and then takes off, doing anything else, taking care of several other things before even going to do.
I think that was Ood Sigma, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ood Sigma, who makes his first appearance later on in that series.
Yeah,
but that's the reason why it was one of my favorite episodes. To see the Doctor get close to turning to this darker side here, and realizing that how terrifying he could be.
If he just
when he puts his mind and heart to it.
Yeah, when he disregards the rules.
If you want to be precise.
Yeah, when he disregards the rules that his people have set, and just kind of does whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
So yeah, some really, really good episodes we've talked about here, whether they be specials or two-parters or even just one-offs.
Yeah, but the main reason why I selected those was because it's not like the bigger ones that
I mentioned.
Yeah, it's more the give. Like, I wanted to have more idea of what the characters were and how strong sometimes these balanced characters are. And I was stuck between with the ninth one between the Witch's Familiar and the Doctor and Van Gogh.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Yeah, that one's a good one too, but we're not going to talk about that one because we said 3.
Yeah, and we're actually breaking the 40-minute mark right now.
Yeah, we already. I know that.
Oh yeah. So thank you all for joining us, and just to kind of recap the episodes, mine were Dalek, Human Nature / the Family of Blood, and the Zygon Inversion / technically Zygon Invasion / Zygon Inversion, and Don, yours were again.
The Witch's, the Doctor's Wife, the Witch's Familiar, with also the Magician's Apprentice, and the Waters of Mars.
All very good, and I would say actually staples to the show. If you would like to actually watch the show now that we spoiled a good chunk of it, I would suggest, or if you've just skipped this part entirely, you're not even going to hear this, I would suggest you start at the 2005 restart first episode titled Rose. You'll see Billy Piper playing Rose and Christopher Eccleston playing the Doctor in his 9th regeneration. If you have any of your favorite episodes that we didn't mention, please mention them in the comments below. I would love to keep discussing Doctor Who. It's easily one of my favorite shows that I watch currently. Donnie or Paladin, do you have anything you'd like to say before we go?
Yes. I would suggest getting to start with the 2005 series. You don't really need to watch the older series to understand what's going on. They kind of made it easier for people to jump off onto there, but it is good if you want to. It is good to go back and watch.
If you like the show.
Yeah, if you really like the show. Also, I'm going to say this now. Watch it. Watch the French toast out of it.
Watch the French toast out of it?
Yep.
All right. So, like I said, if you have any episodes that you would like to talk about in the comments below, please comment. If you had any other thoughts about the episodes we've mentioned, leave it in the comments below. Like I said, we'd love to discuss this. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to go into part 2 now, in which we discuss our favorite shows. That should be between Ray, Paladin, Broken, and I. Maybe. There might be a change there. Not sure just yet. So just hang in there for our part 2. All right, and we are back with the next part of the podcast. Today we are joined by DarkPaladin and Little Bit Broken. Fortunately, we couldn't get Ray to join us. He unfortunately had some other commitments that he had to attend to outside of this, because he's a responsible adult, not like me. Or
at least you're honest.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Or I just have more free time than him. One of the two. But today we're going to be talking about our favorite TV shows. I'm going to limit it down to one because we went a bit longer on the first part, which was DarkPaladin and I talking about Doctor Who, and because I do want to try to keep this within a reasonable time frame for a podcast. Since I went first in the first part, I'm going to ask either DarkPaladin or Little Bit Broken to go ahead and start, and then we'll just kind of go from there. So whichever you guys feels more comfortable starting, go right ahead.
Do you want to go or should I?
I don't care.
Rip headphone users.
Oh, get over it.
All right. Well, I'll go first then, since I made you go first the last time. So I have tons of favorite shows, mostly because of the hero's journey. But I'm going to go back to one of my earliest childhood memories, which is Batman the Animated Series.
So good.
The show had a very dark feel, and it blew my mind about some things when I was a kid. Like, one episode is when Batman has a dream, and it's about him failing to save Two-Face. If you don't know who Two-Face is, that is Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent was a friend of Bruce Wayne, and he felt that it was his fault that he became injured and became the Two-Face persona that he is today. So in the dream, he sees him falls down, and he tries to save him. Looks down, sees his parents, and and what his father kept saying, "Why did you fail us, Bruce?" That kind of blew my mind.
That's fucking wow.
Yeah.
Jesus, I don't remember that episode.
Oh, hey kids, check out this new cartoon show. Now with a healthy dose of crippling depression.
Hey kid, you want to see a dead body? Jesus fucking Christ.
Dead body! And look, someone's fucking that dead body.
Oh God. What? Yeah, it just went so dark. But also, like, one of the other episodes when Bruce is in his own little world, and everything is a perfect little world. There's a Batman already out there doing all the crime, and his parents are alive. And then you find out that it's him just being in a dream world, and someone's just messing with his mind and the whole thing. Making him believe that he's trying to give him the perfect life, and he escapes out of it. It was basically like a very painful thing for him to go through, and oh God, it just basically pulled the shells of it.
Kind of like the Justice League episode where
the Parasite thing, yeah. But, which I can also say this as well. The Batman animated universe is linked all the way to the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. It's the same Batman.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, because what happened is that it didn't always continue from the Superman Adventures.
Mm-hmm. And
then Superman, so Superman and Batman already knew each other. That's why we were introduced for the other show, and like I say, because it was, even though this is connected to it, that's the reason why I always liked the Batman animated. I grew up watching all the way to Justice League Unlimited, and all of it was connected. Static Shock, Zeta Project, something else, Superman Adventures, and Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. They were all connected. They were all one universe.
Yeah.
Still think one of my favorite, like, Static Shock episodes is where they had a crossover with Batman Beyond. That was pretty fucking
awesome. Batman Beyond's also part of the continuity as well.
I wasn't sure if that one was considered canon within that universe.
Oh, it is, because it's all part of the continuity. Because if you ever watch the Justice League cartoon, you'll see that they had the older Static appear in the with the Batman Beyond character when there's this whole time fluctuation. Yeah, no, they're all from Batman the animated. I mean, I'm not saying it was planned.
No, but it just kind of worked out.
But it's all connected, yes.
Huh, I should really go back and rewatch some of those shows.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. That's the reason why I was so fascinated. That's the reason why I chose Batman animated series, because it led to
so many good things.
Yeah, that sparked out through that. But it didn't get as dark as... Well, no, one episode of Batman did get.
If I remember
really
correctly,
dark
that show
in
gets
Justice League
pretty
Unlimited.
goddamn dark.
Yeah, it got real dark, especially with certain things. And the Joker was like, it had like two different kind of styles of Joker, and I did not like the fourth season's Joker. The art style got changed a bit, and he looked really weird looking. But no, but it was one of my all-time favorite shows. It made me develop the idea of looking at things a different way and understanding that, hey, the world's not full of sunshine and brightness. But every once in a while, please turn on Animaniacs, because this will
fuck you up.
Yeah, it will fuck you up as a child.
Now, wasn't Mark Hamill the voice of the Joker in that, or am I thinking of a different series?
Yes, Mark Hamill, and yes, it was Mark Hamill playing the voice of the Joker.
And then Kevin Conroy?
Kevin Conroy, yes.
Very great voice actor.
Mark Hamill only recently stopped voicing the Joker.
Well, until he did the Killing Joke.
Yeah, that was like
but that's
because
he wanted to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I think and then he came back and did it for the video game as well. But like I said, last video game. But he may come back again if something might spark him up. But like I said, he's been doing it for a while. Yeah, but to me, he's always going to be the Joker for me. That's how I tell you the truth. That's how I knew Mark Hamill. I didn't know him as Luke Skywalker. It's the Joker.
See, I didn't know he was always Luke Skywalker. And like, he's the Joker too. Fucking A.
Yeah. So no, that's not how I.
And he's also a fucking villain in The Flash.
The Trickster.
Yeah. Which is isn't it essentially the Joker, but like a less serious
He's
version?
a really he's a bad villain, but he's just a really he's
That's
had
not
a lot
what version of the Trickster you're talking about. There's a
I'm thinking of the Justice League Unlimited one.
Yeah, the one that's kind of useless. But also there was the one made from the night. He used to in the live action Flash TV show made in the 90s.
Oh god.
He used to be he was playing the Trickster there. I didn't really watch that one, but I did watch the ones in the new Flash where he plays the Trickster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. But he did do the Joker voice in the Trickster in Earth 3, and I love that. It was really great.
Huh.
But no, but there's like so many memorable episodes. Like one of my favorites is, in which I have on my computer, is called Silicon Soul, where there's this Batman that's actually an android.
Yeah.
Who was made by Hardak, who was trying to replace all life with robots. And he's programmed, and he remembers that program and starts uploading the program into the Bat robot. I mean, not the Bat robot.
The Batman replica.
The computer in the Batcave, and starts fighting Batman. Batman realized that you could have killed me a long time ago. I think he made you too well, to the point where he pushes Batman off the cliff, and he tries grabbing him, and the cape ripped, and he thought he killed him.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this episode.
I remember he said, "I've taken a life." And there's one scene that got spoiled when he does like this Shakespearean pose. I'm like, what the fuck was that for? But then he walks in and realizes, in my city, what have I done? And he destroys the machine. And it made Batman question, did he have a soul?
Yeah, because
he was willing to sacrifice.
He was so well programmed down to Batman's core beliefs of not killing, and so when he does, it really takes a toll. And this then makes you question, well, what a robot just destroyed part of it, just like because of how well he was programmed. So yeah, is it considered him having a soul, or is it just really good programming?
Yeah, but like I said, it made me cry as a child.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just saw this guy sacrifice his life to save humanity, and he died. I'm like, well, there goes my day.
Depression, yeah.
So basically, watch Batman animated series, have antidepressants.
Just like at the ready, just like, the show. Or as Broken said, watch Animaniacs right after. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Take 2 Xanax for 1 Animaniacs episode after viewing Batman animated series.
All right, so yeah, that's my TV. That's mine. What's yours, guys?
Yeah, well, you see.
I'm not gonna take that right now.
I don't really have a set favorite, but if I had to split it between like animated and live action stuff, that's a little easier.
Okay.
Because with animated, it's somewhere between. It's a tie between Courage the Cowardly Dog, because That's pretty much the one cartoon show I fucking watched almost religiously because I loved it.
Such a good show.
Yeah.
And then I know it's fucking anime, but Samurai Champloo.
I guess you could discern between Western animation and...
Yeah.
He said favorite TV show. Didn't especially have to say like, it's got to be only in America. You weeb.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm just saying.
If we're splitting hairs,
it's anime, and what are you, gay? No, well,
no,
a little
you
bit.
just have a body pillow.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I was
No.
between Batman the animated series or Dragon Ball Z, and like I said, they were both.
Yeah.
I want to go with my earliest memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for like live action, I didn't really start watching live action shows until somewhat recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed the shows that I tend to enjoy the most are like crime ones.
Gotcha.
For example, I love Breaking Bad, but I like Boardwalk Empire just that much more.
I haven't watched Boardwalk Empire.
It's really good, and I'm gonna try not to spoil anything.
Gotcha.
But it really like fits the theme of the time period.
Gotcha. Because
It's
isn't it?
It's during Prohibition.
Yeah.
And one of the seasons, I think it's season 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
It has the part where Prohibition was repealed.
Gotcha.
But it also shows that Steve Buscemi is a wonderful actor and is not always having to be a shitty,
like side character.
Yeah. I'm looking at you, Adam Sandler, you sack of shit. Anyway. I don't know what it is, but like with the crime ones, yes, they're basically dramas, but when they show violence, it's fucking violence.
Yeah, it is.
And as much as I love the violence in Game of Thrones, it's become so constant that it kind of loses the shock value.
Yeah, I mean, Breaking Bad always did a good job with keeping everything tame, but when shit went south, shit went south.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I love Breaking Bad. And the characters were amazing.
Mwah, mwah.
I'm
gonna have to rewatch it because
I'm gonna say this: I have not watched any of the shows you guys just mentioned.
Oh my god, you need to watch Breaking Bad. Like real talk on some real shit. Like it is the perfect binge watch show.
I'm gonna quote one thing from Breaking Bad, and it's not gonna spoil anything. I didn't do it for you. I did it for me. That line, when it's spoken, is like, yes.
Oh, so good.
But yeah, Boardwalk Empire, like all the characters have different dynamics, and there's one character. At first he's a minor character, and he's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's been so long since I watched it, I can't remember his name, and I feel bad about that.
It's fine.
You should.
I can only remember Steve Buscemi's character name, and even then, it's only the nickname. But this guy is a war veteran, and he slowly, throughout the show, turns into a fucking hitman. And he's a character that doesn't talk much, but when he does, you better listen kind of shit. And it's just like, he's such an awesome character for that. And he's wearing like a fake mask for half of his face because half of his face basically got blown off.
Oh.
Well, they constantly just show him with the mask on, and it's horrible because, obviously prosthetics in the 20s aren't going to be amazing.
Yeah, 20s, 30s, yeah.
And they do show him without the mask on at one point, and it's like, holy shit!
Yeah. Huh.
But yeah, like, I've noticed that I just really like the crime shows, such as Breaking Bad and Boardwalk Empire.
So I guess we've gotten from you is Courage the Cowardly Dog, Samurai Champloo, and then Boardwalk Empire. Essentially, those are the kind of the three.
Yeah, more or less.
So I guess it's my turn then. Oh, let me search
Yes, it is.
Doctor Who!
No, it's actually not Doctor Who.
Poking of
Fuck you!
No. I have not watched that. I refuse to watch that. But when someone told me, what is that? And then I had it explained to me, it's like, yeah, no, I'm going nowhere near that shit.
No one explained it to me. I seen it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I seen it.
I watched it like, oh, so it's a hentai. I got you. So this is a little girl. It's a dude. It's a dude. Oh god, that's a penis.
All right. No, but if I would have to go with my favorite, it would actually be Scrubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Broken's not surprised. When I first watched it, I watched it at a very kind of formative age, back when I was in high school, and I would always like watch it on Comedy Central. And to me, and I've recently rewatched like the whole show, and I'm probably planning on watching it again because it's just that good to me. A lot of it, for a show that started off in what I want to say 2001, right? I think. Roughly
I have no
early
idea.
2000s, made it all the way up to about 2008, 2009. Even though, you know, some of the setups and some of the jokes are kind of dated, it still holds up very well for what it is, and it's a medical dramedy, I guess you would call it. And it's kind of the first show that at least I ever watched that kind of handled, like, it was the first show that kind of handled some very heavy elements with some ridiculously good comedy in the same episodes. Like, you could have one episode that was really, nothing but just comedy, and then the next episode just hits you with something real heavy, and it deals with that, and all the characters go through it and experience it, and it's just
Fantasy
like
Universe episode.
Fantasy Universe. Oh yeah. Or the episode where everybody envisions Elliot as their wife, like something completely ridiculous, or like
Worth
it. But it's a show that handles a lot of varying topics, and it doesn't. To me, it was never too heavy-handed with the topics that it went on to do or deal with. And for somebody who's never really watched a lot of medical shows, all of it was able to keep my attention because they knew how to keep, for the most part, everything interesting. I would say maybe around halfway through the show, it does kind of start to feel a bit the samey, but then it kind of, because that's kind of writers and everybody kind of hitting like a certain rut. They do eventually come out of it, and even when it kind of starts to feel a bit samey, it's still really good. There's still really good moments in there. I would have to say probably my favorite kind of little bit in there was the little story arc they had with, I think it was My Lunch, and then the next part that came after that, which was My Fallen Idol. And it's probably one of the best, like, at least one of the best dramatic parts of the show, and it's where one of the main characters oh god, hold up, I need to actually remember this correctly. Essentially, there are like 3 or 4 patients that need organ transplants, and 2 of the main characters come across a very annoying past patient, and they talk, and they keep going to like the same supermarket, and they keep meeting her, and eventually she comes into the hospital once again, and she dies yet again. This was a character that was maybe introduced once or twice in the series as a whole, but yet you really felt like this really, it felt like it impacted the doctors in a little bit, but it turns out she's also an organ donor. So while at the same time it was sad, it was also a good thing, because now all 3 of these patients can get organs. What they didn't know, and what will come later, is they give all the patients the organs, and everybody's doing fine. Maybe a couple hours, maybe even a day passes. I can't remember exactly what the time span is between all the organ transplants. But then one of the patients starts failing and eventually dies. I don't remember what the cause was, and then another patient dies, and then one of the main characters, Dr. Cox, goes to check on his patient. He's like, "You doing all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing fine." And then his patient dies, and it's a really great moment. And when they finally realize what had happened, it turns out that the woman who had died and gave her organs had rabies. And there's a really great moment. It's just like, there's no way you could have known that would have been the case. It's just like, it would have been irresponsible for you to test it. Rabies only kills some few people in America each year, and it's just like, if you had tested for it, some of the people would have died anyway because they wouldn't have gotten their organs. And since you didn't test for it, they died anyway. It's like, it's this great scenario. It's just like, no matter what, the decision he would have made would have cost somebody their lives. And it's a very heavy, set of episodes. And there's the great scene where he's trying to resuscitate Dr. Cox is trying to resuscitate his patient with a defibrillator, and the patient still dies. And it's just, he throws the paddles away and just starts fucking cursing, like, just, God damn it, kind of pushes over the defibrillator unit and just walks out, and just, like, there was some powerful fucking acting. Like, there is a Scrubs subreddit, and you will see that fucking clip posted every week because it is so... Because people that are either new to the show or rewatching the show, like, holy shit, I either have forgotten or this scene is so fucking good that people always just, like, gravitate towards it. It's so good. And then the My Fallen Idol kind of deals with the repercussions of the actions on Dr. Cox and how he deals with it. Yet again, both are completely fantastic episodes, and both, while being so heavy with their kind of messages and kind of how they portray it as drama, still have their lighter moments. They still have those comedic bits that make Scrubs kind of, to me, the unique show that it is. It handles these heavy aspects and these kind of heavy situations, but, it's still got that humor in there. It's not just all drama all the time. Or, on the flip side, you can have, a very lighthearted, funny episode, then turn on a dime like that, and bam, we got some drama in this episode. It handles all these, and a lot of the characters are fairly well written and have very good character development throughout the whole series. I think probably the weakest one was maybe Carla throughout the whole series. She had probably... Like, she had some character development, but at some certain points, it felt like some of her subplots were just kind of repeating.
But the idea when it came to Carla is that Carla was the more level-headed one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was more like she's the glue that keeps everything together. Because the thing is that these were doctors, and she was just a nurse. And a lot of people, when it comes to this kind of thing, we're always focused on the doctors. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point, was that she was always there to see how this was translated. Like, yeah, they have to give her some points, like some lines. I understood some for like some.
Problems. Like none of her
like
problems.
One episode when she was worried about her child, and will anyone know that this is if this is Latino? How would they know about her heritage on that side?
Latin
how does this
heritages,
make her feel?
Yeah.
But also, going back to that episode you were talking about, the main reason why Dr. Cox kind of lost his shit on that one was not because the other room was dying, because the connection he had with the guy.
Yeah, he had a connection with the patient. Necessarily didn't need the organ. He could have. Yeah. He could have waited. He was just so exuberant to get this guy, back into healthy condition, just like the other patients. He's not just caring about his patient, but obviously everybody else.
You're not caring about his patient, but he had like a connection with it. Because in the beginning, how they started off with how Dr. Cox and him was joking around.
Yeah.
Saying like, who's
got
the worse life than me?
No, who had the worst dad?
Yeah, the worst dad, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's...
So you see the connection with the patient, and each death then starts to weigh on him more and more because he was the one that, made the call to do the organ transplant. And so each one weighs on him, the first death, the second death, and then his patient dies. And it just kind of breaks him a bit. And
that broke him right there, because at first he was going to just break right there, but then everyone else brought up saying like, hey, it was a tough call. And, And it was a life and death decision on this part, and then his patient then died. He said then he could have lived, he could have gone a few more days.
He could have gone months, I think is what...
that one. And that's what made him walk.
Yeah.
But no, my... I used to watch, but one of my... Because I used to be, I think that's the reason why I got that nickname, Chocolate Bear from Soul.
Yeah, I've actually got a friend who I use Chocolate Bear for too, and he calls me Vanilla Falcon.
So
that sounds really gay.
One of my favorite episodes from that is the one where Brendan Fraser's in it.
Oh, like do you mean like his whole little? Because he's in multiple seasons.
The last one.
The last one. Oh my god. Whew. Oh, I cry every fucking time.
Because I did not see that coming.
No, and like you rewatch it and it's just like, wow. They're being subtle about it, but they're not at the same time. Like, it's very well done, that episode. That story, that last little bit of story. And then it's just like that line, where do you think we are? And it's just like, oh god, what? Oh god, no, oh no!
Because basically they were just playing up for laughs the entire time, and then ta-da!
Yeah, that's actually a perfect example of it being, comedy. Last, 3-4 minutes, bam, drama. It's just like, what the fuck? And did I just get hit with the crying stick? Is there a ninja chopping onions? What the fuck is going on?
But yeah, it's a decent show.
Yeah. So that is, I would say, a good conclusion to kind of wrap it up on. So
I'm guessing so, because Little Broken has not said a word.
no, yeah, he's probably playing WoW or something.
I'm not.
Shocker.
Oh, I also forgot to mention one of my other favorite shows is Bible Black. It's a very
God damn! Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! You stop that!
Yeah.
You stop that! Or I'll slurp. God damn it! All right.
There with,
Stop it! Stop it! Motherfucker! I will mute you. I can do that.
Sorry, we'll watch it again.
I'm quite adjust glasses, even though I don't actually wear them.
Well educated in the subject.
I'm quite partial to High School of the Dead. It was totally not sexualized at all.
All right. Well, thank you. So, just to go back over the list, we've got DarkPaladin with the Batman animated series and that kind of whole animated group universe in total. We've got
which was called the
Justice League animated universe or something like that.
I guess something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got Broken with Courage the Cowardly Dog, Samurai St. Blue, and Boardwalk Empire. And I was the only one that stuck with one technically. Because fuck you guys.
Technically, no, I did stick with one. I'm just saying it was all connected.
Fine. Fair enough. Broken's the one that breaks the rules. Fitting for his name.
Only a little bit.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, jokes for days.
We're all dad jokes now. And then I went with Scrubs. So, if we've talked about any of the shows that you enjoy, please, let us know in the comments below. If we did not mention any shows that you think are some of your favorites, yet again, let us know in the comments below. I'm always up to watch some new TV, always up to watch some new good shows that people will always recommend. So, thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Paladin and Broken, joining me yet again for the later end of this podcast. And as always, everyone, have a great day.